All right, let's talk about something real. Ever feel like your business is just spinning its wheels? Today we're going to dive into Alex Hormozi's framework. It's a game changer for figuring out why you're stuck and, more importantly, how to get unstuck. So let's just jump right in.
Yeah, this one hits home for a lot of people, right? That feeling of being totally trapped. You're between a rock and a hard place. Every solution you try just creates a whole new problem. It's this super common entrepreneurial trap, but guess what? There's a way out. And today, we're basically going to hand you the map.
Okay, so here's the game plan. We're going to hit 4 major roadblocks. First up, serving the wrong customer. Then we'll get into fixing your broken model. After that, we'll talk about why you might be scaling problems instead of solutions. And finally, the big one, the discipline of focus. And yeah, you're going to want to stick around till the end because we'll tie this all together and show you the real path to growth.
All right, first up, who are you actually serving? Look, when you're just starting out, the name of the game is survival. You say yes to pretty much anyone who has a pulse and a wallet, right? You got to keep the lights on. But here's the trap. That survival tactic can become a really bad habit, and that's when you get stuck in total chaos.
So, the first big move you have to make if you really want to scale is learning to say no. It's this huge shift from, please, anyone, be my client, to being super selective about who you work with. You got to get laser focused on the right people. Honestly, it's the only way to escape that nightmare of trying to be everything to everyone.
Okay, so how do you figure out who the wrong people are? Well, Hormozi has this super simple but brilliant exercise. You literally just list out all your past customers, and then you ask yourself 4 questions. Who did I love working with? Who spent the most money? Who was the most profitable? And who is the easiest to get results for? The people who pop up again and again, they're not just your best clients. They are the blueprint for your entire future. That's your ideal customer, right there.
And here's the crazy part. It's totally counterintuitive. The second you start saying no to the wrong fits, you suddenly become way more attractive to the right ones. It's like a magnet. It sends this powerful signal that you're an expert, that you value your time. And you know what that means? You can charge what you're actually worth for a service that's now way easier to deliver because it's built for them.
So, you've nailed down your ideal customer, but you're still not making any money. What gives? Well, that leads us straight into problem number 2. You might have a fundamentally broken business model. This is where the math just isn't mathing. It doesn't matter how hard you grind, the numbers just don't add up.
Usually, a broken model boils down to 2 main culprits. And sometimes it's both. On one hand, you might be paying your team too much. Maybe your pay structure just doesn't scale. And on the other hand, you could be charging your customers way too little for the awesome value you're providing.
So does this sound familiar? You're completely slammed. Your team is at max capacity. You're busier than ever. But when you look at the bank account at the end of the month, there's nothing there. The first instinct is always, we need to get bigger. Let's open another location. But if you scale a broken model, you don't get 1 profitable business, you get 2 broke ones.
Look, fixing a broken model is almost always going to require some personal sacrifice. That lifestyle you're clinging to, it can be the very thing holding your business back. And here's the hard truth. Your unwillingness to feel a little pain now, that is the exact opportunity your competitor is praying for.
And that desire to just get bigger leads us perfectly into problem number 3, the ego trap of growth at all costs. It's that classic mistake, right? Trying to get bigger before you've gotten better. All that does is pour gasoline on all your existing fires.
This quote just hits so hard. If you make bigger the goal, you'll get bigger and you'll get worse. Think about that. When growth is the only thing you're chasing, quality is the first thing to go. You cut corners, you hire people who aren't a great fit, you start to suck. You're bigger, sure, but you're also worse. Let's break it down even simpler. If your goal is just growth, what you really get is bloat. You're just puffy. Too many of the wrong clients, a team that doesn't know what it's doing, and total chaos. But if you switch your goal to quality, well, real, sustainable growth just kind of happens as a side effect.
So this is the big mindset shift right here. Stop chasing revenue. Revenue is not the goal, it's a consequence, it's a result. Instead, you need to get obsessed with the inputs, the things you can actually control, like how incredible is your service, how well trained is your team, how dialed in are your systems. You nail those inputs and I promise you, the revenue will follow.
Okay, on to our last problem. And honestly, this might be the most dangerous one of them all because it's so sneaky. It's the lack of focus. And the ironic thing is, the very trait that probably made you an entrepreneur, that shiny object syndrome, that willingness to jump on new opportunities, that can become your absolute worst enemy.
Let's redefine commitment for a second. Commitment isn't some fuzzy feeling. It's an action. It's the elimination of alternatives. It means saying no to that new product idea or that cool new marketing tactic, not because they're bad ideas, but because your current thing needs 100% of you to actually work.
Hormozi has this great analogy. He calls the new opportunity the woman in the red dress. She looks amazing from across the room, right? But you don't know about any of her baggage yet. Meanwhile, your current business, you know every single flaw, every frustration, every annoying little thing about it. Of course, the new thing looks better. You're only seeing the highlight reel.
The truth is, success rarely comes from finding the perfect thing. It's about follow-through. Think about it. The best diet is the one you actually stick with. The best person to marry is the one you stay with and work through things with. And the best business is the one you don't quit on.
So let's bring this all home. As we look back at these 4 big problems, do you notice a pattern? None of this was about getting more leads, or a better sales script, or a fancier funnel. The stuff that really keeps you stuck, it's much deeper. It's foundational.
At the end of the day, the problem isn't the market. It's not your competitors. The final boss you have to beat is you. It all comes down to your willingness to do the hard stuff, to have those awful, uncomfortable conversations, to feel a little bit of pain now for a much bigger reward later.
And that right there, that's the key to getting unstuck. The willingness to just rip the Band-Aid off. That short, sharp pain of saying, you know what, I messed up, and then fixing it, that is so much better than the slow, chronic pain of just letting the problem fester forever. The faster you face it, the faster it's over.
So I'll leave you with this question. Out of these 4 scenarios we just walked through, which rock and a hard place are you stuck in right now? Be honest with yourself. And once you've identified it, what is the just one hard conversation you need to have or tough decision you need to make this week to finally start moving again?